As you prepare to look at the article on incarnational evangelization, either for self-study or to help lead somebody else through the article, I want to first of all thank you for saying yes to Jesus' invitation to come follow him, which essentially is the central component of this entire article and the concept of incarnational evangelization, which is simply to hear Jesus say, "Come follow me," and to help others walk with him in our deep investment in their own lives. As you begin to look at this article, the central theme is first brought out in Matthew 9, when Jesus invites the disciples around him, who simply are people that the scribes and Pharisees would never engage with. And he says to them, "Come follow me." And he sits and dines with them and he spends time with them. And this has continued to be embodied when we look at the life of John Paul II, when from a very young age he invited a group of people to walk with him through his priestly formation, through his journey into the priesthood, through being a bishop and then a pope. And many of them thought he would just forget about them along the way, and he never did. He continuously was there with them, inviting them deeper into his life. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the concept of incarnational evangelization that we must take the time to sit down and look at and really dive deeply into, because this is what makes our mission so special. This is what really allows us to go deeply in the lives of others and invite them into a life of Christ, is through simply sharing not only the gospel of God, but our very selves, as it's stated in 1 Thessalonians 2:8. And I want to come back to that here in a minute, sharing part of my story. But before we get there, I want to also bring to your attention something we want to be very careful about as we look at this concept of incarnational evangelization. And that is to be very careful of what can be termed as jacuzzi Catholicism. Sometimes we are so blessed, a lot of us, to have it being brought into the faith through great communities, great Newman centers, awesome centers of faith. Most of us, some of us maybe not. But we also want to be careful as we build that we're not just sitting in this community that is so warm and cozy and everything's happy and we're all talking about theology and different things like that, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But we always want to, as we're receiving in our faith and as our students are receiving in their faith and in their constant walk with Jesus, there's this concept of looking at, how am I desiring and how is the Lord desiring for me to give what it is that I have been given? We must be that conduit. Whatever we receive, we must give. That's what brings life into our lives. So be aware of that. Are we sitting around in this nice little community where we all believe the same thing and we all are going after the same thing? And are we called to go out? There's this chaplain that we get to work with up here where I'm serving, and he is amazing at this. Almost twice a day he makes a point to go walk the entire campus, and he's always challenging our missionaries to go that much deeper in the faith. And it is that, ladies and gentlemen, that I think we need to continue to really strive for, because this is the reason why I'm sitting here in front of you today, able to speak to you in this video. Because many years ago, when I was a student on campus, when I was in a tough place in my life, not necessarily seeking anybody's guidance or assistance, a missionary walked up to me, and in one way he did say, "Come follow me," but through actually inviting himself deeper into my life by saying, "Can I come with you?" I was actually going to visit a good friend and at an alcoholic treatment facility about 2.5 hours away. And this missionary walked up to me, introduced himself, said, "Hello, how's it going?" And then he found out where I was going to do. He said, "Well, is anybody coming with you?" And I said, "Well, no, not at all." And he said, "Well, can I come with you?" And he got in the pickup and we drove 2.5 hours one way. He bought me dinner, and on the way back, he just started to get to know me more fully, and he started asking me great questions about what I wanted in my life and where I thought my life should be compared to where it was, and is this what I wanted for my life? And I don't know. But the point was, he was inviting me to come follow him in his journey closer to Jesus and the life that he was striving to live as a missionary. And from that point on, it was a phenomenal relationship that we built. So as we come to the end of this time, what I want to challenge you as you walk through this article is this: how will you model this skill for the person you are leading in your life? Are you already doing it, hopefully, one? And then also, how will you continue to do it? Secondary, how are you going to help them attempt to practice this? How are you going to help them to see and understand what this life of incarnational evangelization looks like and how we do it? And finally, how will you build them up in the skill, becoming a habit with those that they are investing in? So how does this continue to go deeper and deeper? Small little story on that. This week I had the opportunity to hang out with one of our team directors up in the area who I've known since he was a student on campus, and I now get the chance to mentor him. And I invited him to go disc golfing. It's one of my favorite things to do. And we're about 3 or 4 holes in. He'd only ever played one at a time, and he looks at me and says, are these courses other places in the country? I'm like, oh, I think so. I'm sure they're going to be in the town you're going to be serving. He goes, because this right here, walking with you, having conversations, sharing life, doing something you love, this is discipleship. This is sharing life together. This is incarnational evangelization. So I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk into this, how are you loving somebody? How are you being so affectionate for somebody in their life that you not only share the gospel and the gospel message, but your lives also? Thank you, and God bless.